I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the greatest video game characters of all time. With his iconic appearance, super speed, and fun attitude, he's taken his place as a video game icon amongst the greats like Pac-Man, Ryu, and his rival, Mario. And yet, despite this, I've never seen a franchise with as many inconsistencies in quality as with Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like the poor guy just can't get it together. But why? Well, it's one main issue. Before we mention why it doesn't work now, let's go back and look at the original four and a half screw it, the classic Sonic games. I have a bit of a soft spot here considering Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the first game I've ever played. And I didn't play the other Genesis games admittedly until I had a Wii many years later. After playing all of them again for the sake of this video, I find that I enjoy them even more than I did as a kid. They aren't without their flaws. Sometimes you get hit out of nowhere for going too fast, and a lot of the stages ditch the speed concept for more conventional platforming. But they are still a blast to play, with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, along with Sonic CD, probably being the pinnacle of their gameplay. This is a habit Sega strayed away from as Sonic games advanced. The transition to 3D for Sonic wasn't as smooth as it was for certain other mascots, although it definitely could have been worse. But once we got Sonic Adventure, it was clear we were on the right track. Sega thought so too, because Sonic Adventure 2 built on the foundation of the first. Sonic felt fast, the homing attack felt better, and you were rewarded for learning the different tricks in the stages to get to the end better, much like the original. But it wasn't until after this game that Sega decided that the series needed a little something extra to spice up the gameplay. Here comes Sonic Heroes, and while the first stage would have you believe this was going to be another hit, the game soon derails, with many moments of frustration, awkward level design choices, and a gameplay system based around swapping team members for different abilities that start to wear out its welcome. And so begins the main issue with Sonic games. At this point, it became clear that Sonic Team didn't really know how to keep Sonic fresh anymore. And this couldn't be more clear than with Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, I don't know where to begin with this game. Nothing can be said that hasn't already been said by other critics and fans. Making a Sonic game darker by having guns, swearing, and a good and evil system with about as many different endings as Sonic has transformations made the game fail on so many levels, and if anything, only made this game that was clearly trying to be serious all the more goofy. The problem is that Sonic games are constantly changing up the gameplay without properly understanding what works and why, continuing to make strange choices that deviate further from what made it fun in the first place, which is frustrating because the handheld games had this down to a science and felt like a perfect blend of old school Sonic and new school Sonic, while still keeping the essence of what made both so much fun to play. Now, I feel like there must be respect given to Sega for trying to change the formula so they weren't just dishing out the same game every year. That's something that more developers need to do, but not at the cost of taking away what made the previous games work. This is only made even worse by the fact that Sonic had gotten back on track. While Sonic Unleashed Werehog was questionable, the daytime stages were an absolute blast. Sonic Colors took what worked, refined it, and added power-ups in the form of Wisp. And Generations was by far one of the best Sonic games I had played in a long time, constantly adding on to this new gameplay style, just like the classics did with theirs. And then we got Lost World. And after that, now I love Sonic, and I love the character, and I want Sonic to thrive well into the future. But if that's gonna happen, then they have to stop reinventing him before his wheels start to turn. Games like Mario, Ratchet & Clank, GTA, and so many more have continued to be great without having to change up their gameplay drastically. They take what works, refine it, and add just enough new mechanics to make it different, but not completely. I don't know what the future holds for Sonic, but with the 25th anniversary underway and rumors of a new game on PS4 and Xbox One, we can only hope that the next game featuring the fastest thing alive can get him back on track. Until then, at least we have the new Sonic Boom, right?